Rather be alone. Rather be alone. Rather be alone. Rather be alone, all by myself. Give me some time to find myself. More time, Killa, man, must remind myself I'm the best of the best, don't deny myself. Got time, I went jail and find myself. Back then, I couldn't rewind myself. Coming like the Killa, man, design myself. War for war, but I recline myself. They're too close, but I'm too far. Them try to mix me up in a two war. That's why me and them boy, they're not too far. Me and me gal have to drive in a 2 car. 2 car, one nigga with 2 star. If you know a Killa P, me no lose one. But you know some true, them a shoe far. And the boy violate, then a 2 star. Rather be alone. Rather be alone. Rather be alone. Rather be alone. Being on my own, sometimes it's lonely. You're not just there to sit and phone me. More time you need to sit and hold me. More love in a life you need to show me. And if you can't show me that, don't try hold me back. Cause right now Killa for real is on the map. Only a killer and I'll show you that. I'll show you that. If you was the kind of girl to try and hold me back, giving me things you never owed me that. Telling me about tears you never showed me that. You hold back the whole of your emotions, thinking I'm the dumb one that's dealing with all of your love and your devotion. This one's dead in the ocean. Rather be alone. Rather be alone. Rather be alone. Rather be alone. Good evening, my people. Man, there's enough respect. As you know, we're there. Hold on, make sure you can see me. Make sure you can see me. Hope everybody's in good spirit, my peeps. Man has enough respect plus a whole heap of tax. Yeah. Hold on there. Let it go and juggle out. You see me? Yeah. I hope everyone's in good spirit. Good Sunday to everybody. Gonna hold a deeper reasoning today though. Cause there's so much things going on. I feel like my people need to be in the know of what's going on. And in the know of who some of these key players are that are trying to control our lives in ways that we maybe can't see what's happening. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're gonna all a reasoning. And I got my good brother in the building in the hot seat as well. So big up my brother Ben. You don't know.
Hello, Patrick.
Yeah, my brother. How you doing?
Hello, everyone at home.
Come on.
All good. We're on right. Yes, what you saying?
Can they hear you? Yeah. Make sure they can hear you, my bro. Let's make sure
Can you hear me?
Let's make sure they can hear you. Yeah? Alright, cool, nice. Bring you back over that side there. Alright, boom. So big up my brother Ben, and big up to everybody logged in over on the Facebook and over on the YouTube. Shouts out to Emily, big up to Chantel over on the Facebook. I'm definitely working with the YouTube at the moment because we're definitely trying to build the channel within reason, and Facebook sometimes likes to play about. So if you are over on the Facebook, I would urge you to come over onto the YouTube side where we'll be interacting more over on the YouTube than switching over to the Facebook every so often. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Ben, how you been, man?
I've been alright, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been good.
Putting in work in the background.
I've been busy.
Yeah.
I got a new place to work actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been real good. Like I got kind of in a rut in the place that I was spending a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And I found a new location that I go to on a regular basis, and it's kind of just broken the whole thing apart, and I'm putting it back together again, and I feel very productive.
Big up Ben,
yeah,
my brother, you know. Big
exactly.
up yourself, Ruben. Be a love.
Yeah, so I've been busy. Been busy on a number of fronts. We haven't done this in ages, actually. It's been because we were going to do it every 3 weeks, and then you've been away, and I messed up on the last one.
Yeah. No, I think sometimes nothing happens before it's time, my bro.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sometimes nothing happens before it's time. So we can't worry about sometimes when it don't work out.
Yeah.
It works out in other ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does, mate. Yeah, well, we're here now, and there's a lot going on, man.
A hell of a lot.
That's why we need to talk.
That's right.
It's getting quite tense out there at the moment.
You see what's happening, right?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of we were just talking about it earlier. Like, there's a lot of racial tension.
Definitely
going on, and I think it's being stoked up. And it's not doing anyone any good. It's doing the people in positions of power
the justice that they want.
It's
serving them the purpose.
It's serving them because they want everyone at odds with each other and not paying attention to what they're doing, basically. And they will take any instance, any situation. I mean, the big one that's been going on over the past couple of weeks has been this Diane Abbott.
That's right.
Thing, right? Because
that's right.
There were some comments made about her by a Tory party donor.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's a big software guy, actually. He's a really interesting character because he runs a company that makes computer software for the NHS.
Okay.
And
that is role.
Yeah. So he's Frank Hester, and he makes one of the like they call it clinical management systems. So when you go to the GP and the people working in the doctor's practice.
Yeah.
At the reception or the GP themselves, they'll have access to your
database,
your record.
Yes, that's right.
Your health record.
That's right.
And there's two major companies that have got the whole NHS locked up, and he owns one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's basically very wealthy on the back of taxpayer money, right? So like if justice were done and the world were running right, he wouldn't be in that position that he's in, but because of the way the NHS is set up, they've allowed him. He's a good UK example, but there's loads of big technology companies in there. There's a guy Larry Ellison who owns Oracle, which was set up by the CIA back in the 70s. Oracle, yeah, big database company. Yeah. So they make a lot of money in the NHS, and also Palantir, who are the big one now. They're the artificial intelligence specialist, and they've just locked up a massive contract with the NHS. And they got into the NHS in 2020 when all that stuff happened that I'm not going to talk about too specifically because YouTube doesn't like it, but you know what I'm talking about.
True.
They got through the door and were given a load of work by the NHS without even a tender, so there was no competitive process. They were just given tens of millions of pounds by the chief executive of the NHS, and they're now in there making loads of money. But this guy, Frank Hester, he's a big time businessman, made it very wealthy on the back of the state, and he's kind of got it locked up. Like, he'll be being paid tens, maybe hundreds of millions a year by the NHS every year, and they can't get off. They can't get away from it. So he's sort of stuck there, you know. It's an unusual and not an ideal situation for us to be in, but he's there, and he's obviously made these comments about Diane Abbott in quite a disparaging way.
That's right.
And everyone's getting very upset about that, and I don't think he should have said those words particularly. But you know, having said that, if you're an MP and you're in the public eye, people are going to criticise you, aren't they? So, you know,
it's a double-edged sword kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got to have thick skin if you're going to be out there representing the country, and that's what Diane Abbott has been doing for 35 years now. Like, she was the first black female MP elected in 1987 in Hackney North and Stoke Newington, right? She's been around for a long time. You know, so you'd think that she'd, I don't know, maybe have a slightly more, what's the word I'm looking for? She would know that this kind of thing was part of the course, basically.
Of course.
You know, Like this guy's basically a bit of a sort of cartoon villain type person. But then the other thing that's blown up, and I've seen people getting very, very vexed about, is she was in Parliament and she was standing to try to get attention for a question, and she didn't get called up for the question, and a lot of people got very upset about that. And I can kind of understand why, but the thing is, they do that stuff deliberately. I almost feel like, you know, that whole thing, her standing, not being called, like all of that was basically just done. Whether she was in on it or not, like, it's very easy for them to just do something really disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because they know that it will get their desired
reaction.
effect.
It's going to get that reaction from the public.
Exactly. They want a lot of angry black people.
Of course.
Because that's actually quite convenient for them. Because it makes it very difficult for us to all have like collective, calm conversations about
what's going on.
What should actually be going on in the country if people are riled the whole time. And they do it. It's not just black people, just white people. They do it in the other direction as well. And actually, there's loads of things every day in the media which are just custom designed.
Thank you.
For that specific
reason and purpose,
of vexing you,
so
that you get a visceral reaction against, like, no, I can't believe they've done that again, rah, 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 rah. And then the next thing you know, you're on social media vexed about it, just venting off. And you see people doing this, and I just sort of look at it like, it's all made up, man. Like it's like a
stage. It's staged.
It's a scripted TV show, and she's a character in it.
Yeah.
You know, Diane Abbott is a character as a mainstream Labour politician. She's a character in the news.
Yeah.
You know, which is whatever they decide to put onto your screen for this particular, you know,
season,
news cycle. You know, like week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, and then the next scene will come in and they'll
move along.
They'll get you all vexed about that, and then, you know, like
it's crazy that you should say that to some degree, you know, because I was thinking on the same kind of page as to, like, everything to me is what I'm seeing. I see it as a distraction. I see a lot of distractions happening to stop us from seeing where we're supposed to be putting our energy, what we're supposed to be looking at, what we're supposed to be looking into. When we get these things that distract us, we don't want to look into these things no more. We've been strayed from what we was focused on, and we've gone into some overall debate about what's right from what's wrong on what's being put in front of us.
Yeah, they defined the territory. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then what happens is, because she's a Labour Party politician, so
that's
then,
right.
And everyone's like, we hate it because this guy's a Tory donor. This Frank Hester fella who's dissed her. He's a Tory voter. Or he may not be, but he's certainly a Tory backer. He's given them millions of pounds.
That's right.
And obviously, like, Sunak and Jeremy Hunt and, like, anyone in the Tory cabinet is objectionable, man. Like, they're like caricature villains. You couldn't make up how bad these people are. And
crazy.
and then the Labour Party are really just as bad, just in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
But they got you rooting for the Labour Party now because Diane Abbott's Labour, and now it's like, it's us against them, and, you know, the only viable option that we've got to make any sort of sensible change in the country is it's got to be Labour, because
look at what
if it's
doing.
not that, then what? You know, there isn't any other system of governance. So this is like the best of a bad bunch.
That's right.
Type thing. And what that completely ignores is that actually that entire charade, like that whole show that they put on, all the Punch and Judy, like, you know, like pointing at each other and shouting in Parliament, and you're the racist, no, you're the racist, like all of this sort of stuff. You can just put that all to the side and ignore it completely, and then the population can go over there without them, and actually talk to each other and come to an accommodation whereby we actually can create a system that works. And you can do that anytime you want. It's just that people are too distracted.
That's right.
And they're too vexed. And they're like, I want to vent into my phone because I'm so annoyed because this person's done this and disrespected Diane Abbott.
An emotional reaction.
It is, exactly, yes, an emotional reaction. And they just and they can do it like this. And basically, they got you at that point. If you're letting the narrative, the people running the narrative, who are the political classes and the media and the establishment, if you let them trigger you with this bullshit, then they own you. They are controlling you.
Dub Cup Claire says politics has become a show business.
It is a show business.
It's absolutely a show business.
I think was it Frank Zappa who said that it's show business for ugly people.
That's right.
Right. Yeah, that's
right.
Politics.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's show business for ugly people.
Say big up to Lily, big up Dub Cup Claire, big up Sasha Robinson, Balanced Mindset, King Lacey, Divine, Deborah, big up yourself, and Emily, big up yourself over on the YouTube, and big up to all those over on the Facebook. If you're on Facebook, forward over onto the YouTube and interact, because this is where we'll be interacting, peeps. Man has enough respect and good evening.
And subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe, like, share, and press the notification bell. These things don't cost anything, but it does help the algorithm, and it does help
boost
the message getting across to the right
boost
people.
It out.
You know what I mean? That's deep. So we was conversating about some other, that's deep. That is not even something to skip at all, because they know what they're doing when they draw for the race card. They definitely want a race riot. We've been saying that for months, not even months, a few years now. We've been saying this is what the government is pushing towards.
They would love it.
And if we was to have a civil war right now, that's what they would like. They're pushing for a civil war amongst us that have to live amongst each other, not them living amongst us. That's why when you said all that racism stuff, all that from the government, whatever, push all of that to one side, because it's just it's basically staged. This is stage acting by politicians and etc. They're all brethren. Half of them, it's like a court. It's like courthouses. It's like having the CPS. It's just like having the judge. It's just like having the brief. It's just like having the solicitors. They all sit down in the chambers and they all go for lunch downstairs. Yep. And they all shake hands and say, how's your children?
All going for dinner parties at each other's houses, and they've all got friends in this newspaper and that newspaper, and this think tank and that think tank. It's just a whole mush of nepotism and corruption in the political system. It's the whole thing. She's caught up in it just as much as anyone else. Whether she realises it or not, man, there's a lot of people in politics who are, I think they're kind of well-meaning, but then they don't understand how bad it really is.
It's riddled.
It's like it's the fundamental structure and formulation of even just even the words that they're using to talk about reality. Like the whole thing is completely compromised.
It's crazy.
And then people spend their day getting really wound up about it. This is.
You can't change it.
It's designed to wind you up.
That's right.
So don't let it wind you up.
That's right.
If you do, then you're
won.
giving it too much energy, basically. But you see it all over. So I go so LinkedIn is like the professional social network. So I go on there quite a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people on there, sort of like elders. Afro-Caribbean, broadly, so it's difficult to tell always because they don't always talk about it. But I follow them and listen to what they're talking, because I want to hear what's your view on things, on politics, on life, what philosophies they're sharing and that kind of thing. And even people who are they're very smart. They've done well professionally. Yeah, they've got some money behind them. Really, they're upper middle class people, they just happen to be Afro-Caribbean background, and they let it get to them so much, and it's almost like I don't know them to reach out to say anything, but it's like maybe I need to start doing that a bit more, because it's like you're letting them get to you, and it's undermining all of us, really.
Our intelligence, bruv.
Because then people walk around, they're like, Well, it's like white people this, white people that, and then you get other people on the other side of it going black people this, black people that, or like there's definitely racists around. There's no doubt.
We can't deny that. We can't deny that.
No way denying that, mate. You know, there's a lot of people who are, well, you know, Britain's not a racist country. It's like,
is it really?
It definitely can be, but it's not just that. But then it's very easy because they'll just go around and go, oh no, but what about this thing that happened to poor old Diane Abbott? Nah, it's just more evidence that this is a terrible place and all these people are awful and they're irredeemable and we've got to get rid of them. And it's like, okay, well, you just set up a war, basically.
This is what they want, brother. This is all they want.
Yeah.
Are we going to give it to them just like that?
No, mate.
You know what I mean? We're just going to hand it to them on a plate, like, go on then, all right, cool. You know what I mean?
No, look, thank you.
Being raised in this country, you're supposed to have a thick skin anyway. For all of the things that we hear about and the things that we know of, and, you know, but it's past history itself. All the cussing matches in school, just everything that we've ever been exposed to is supposed to make a lot of us have thick skin to what's going on today.
Yeah.
To be able to see past some of the screen, like the smoke screens that is being put in front of us to distract us. At this point in life where we're at, we're not supposed to be distracted. We're supposed to see what's going on. We're supposed to know what's going on. We're supposed to know who the key players are. Me personally, I don't mix with politics because I know it's tricks and they're only tricking the people. Those that really do try to delve within the politics world without studying the politics world. I mean, I will study the politics world to break down what they're doing to us. But I'm not here to study the politics world to be a part of the politics.
No.
You get it?
100%. Well, they can't... In their game that they're playing,
yeah,
it's not designed to actually fix anything.
That's the whole point.
It's not possible to actually fix anything. And a lot of them realise that is the case, right? Because it's actually designed to cause problems, and then within those problems, people can accrue a lot of power, make a lot of money.
There you go.
You know, there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. But then there's a lot of people in that system who don't even know what they don't know, right? They're sort of in there trying to make a change, to figure it out. But it's like the whole thing is bust. And and they do want.
I believe, bro. There's a lot of well-wishers and do-gooders, and there's a lot of do-gooders doing good for the politicians.
Yeah.
But don't understand that you're not doing any good for the people. You get it? But just because you're good at the job that you're doing for them, and you're not aware of what they are doing. And what is the narrative and what is the real outcome that they're trying to achieve?
Yeah, because they won't be able to do it. Whatever they're telling you, they won't be able to achieve it. And some of them know that and some of them don't know that. But the net outcome is the same. And particularly for politicians on the left,
yeah.
But they're all. I'm not left or right. I think you basically need ideas from everywhere.
Yeah.
And the way that they split it out into is it this or is it this at the outset of the conversation is part of the problem. So actually we need to get beyond that. But a lot of politicians, particularly on the left, they will come in and they will basically they will say, well, you know, we're here to help we really want to help the poor.
Bring your microphone a bit closer to you as well.
Yeah, okay.
You're speaking.
You know, we really want to help the poor.
Yeah.
But actually, most of the time they don't actually want to help the poor. They want power, and they use concern for the poor,
yeah,
as their story that they tell. But in reality, they just want to be in control, and have control of the system. And that's what a lot of the left wing, the more sort of totalitarian end of the political conversation right now, where they want everything run by the state, and you know, like the corporations are bad and need to be got rid of. And I'm not here to defend the corporations, by the way, but but the free market is important. You know, it's where we get all of our prosperity from. And being reliant on the government for everything, like they would, the left in particular would like, doesn't work.
I think
never works, man.
I think the people need to get rid of that mindset where they believe that the government's got the answers for all of our problems. They've got no answers for any of our problems because they don't live in the world of our world. They don't live our world. They don't live with the problems that we live amongst. They don't even live amongst us. So how can they speak for us when they don't live amongst us to know what it is that we require or what we need?
And most of them have never done anything either. So there's a lot of people who are career politicians. Diane Abbott is almost, I think she came straight out more or less of university and went into politics. You know, it's just like, what have you actually done that has had like a proper real world demonstrable impact? And most people in Westminster have never done anything. They might have got elected into the
positions and stuff
into the compromised, like, broken system. Like, okay, well, you managed to get yourself into this total shit show that we've created. But this system is designed to stop anything useful from happening. So
there you go.
What have you actually done? You haven't done anything.
The system is designed to stop anything that is working from happening. You see that statement right there, my brother? It's very, very key. Because you know why let me explain why that's key. Because there's a lot of our community leaders, a lot of our community leaders lean to the system, lean to the government, just because there's pots of money, thinking that they've got the answer because it's just money there. The minute you take their money, you had a great idea. You got people behind you within the community that's willing to stand with you and help you grow something organically from the ground up. The minute that you go over there and take a penny from that pot, you no longer have an organic or authentic growth of whatever it is that it started as, because they've now sanctioned you from being able to do this, that, and that.
There'll be certain things. There's always strings attached.
All right.
There's always strings attached to it, right? Like
very true.
You can't. And actually, last week, so I didn't tell you this, but I'll bring this up now because it's quite a funny thing. I got so there's this organisation called Hope Not Hate. And it's like a hard left wing. They're Marxist, basically. And anyone who's not a radical Marxist, they define as being a far right.
What is a Marxist for those that don't know?
Communists.
Okay.
They're communists. They think that the state should actually the end point of communism is the abolition of private property. Like, basically everything is owned by the state. Everything,
and that's what they want.
That's what they want.
That's what they want.
Right, that's the end point of communism. Everything is owned by and controlled by the state. And so anyone that doesn't want that, and most people don't want that, if they actually stop and think about it and look at societies that operate in that way, they're not generally good places to live. A lot of people get killed by the state. You know, like there's a lot of examples that we could point to. Cambodia. The USSR, you know, like Venezuela's gone into meltdown over the past decade. You know, like there's loads of examples all around the world of how those systems don't work, and yet they are pushing hard for implementing communism. And anyone that's not on that agenda, and it's the agenda being pushed by all of the, you know, it doesn't matter, like left wing, right wing, mainstream politicians. Ultimately, the end game for what the political classes are doing at the minute is state control of everything.
Crazy.
They're all talking about it. Everything they're doing is pushing towards that. It's
funny that you say that again, because I think it was about just a bit, maybe a year ago, I was speaking about this. With regards to the fact that they were saying we're gonna be happy with nothing. Do you remember? We're going to be happy with nothing.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
With it, right? Okay. And then when it came to our personal belongings, we'll have no personal belongings. Our houses will become e-houses, e-share houses, which means when you go out for work, a few days on a job, you know, some people might do 3 days on or 4 days on, 3 days off. Those type of rosters. You have somebody else living in your house at the time when you're not there.
Right.
right? And this is it's all a part of the same thing when you're saying, you know what I mean?
How
Like
mad
they want to control everything, and we will have no control over nothing that we have control over today.
Yeah, you would have no agency whatsoever. Like
it makes sense.
That's what they're building, and it's the top people in the establishment, both parties and the royal family, who are pushing for that. And they're doing everything they're doing right now is about bringing that through.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's mad, isn't it? Yeah, but that is what we're looking at, and what they would really like to tie it back into what we were talking about with this sort of racism argument, and they're stoking up tensions. They would really like violence on the streets of London.
That's right.
Or other big cities around the UK. Could be Birmingham, could be Manny, could be anywhere, right? They're probably the maybe Bristol, like looking a little bit.
That's right.
A little bit litty. You know, they were burning buses and stuff during 2020. There was a bunch of stuff going on down there, and then if that happens. And a lot of that is likely to be triggered off by, I don't know if there's another sort of Mark Duggan type incident, or someone gets shot by the gun feds and it all goes off.
All of that.
Yeah, like then that will just give them an excuse to go to the country and say, right, we've lost control of London, we've lost control of Manchester, we have to bring in crackdown, checkpoints, digital passport systems, all of this.
Total martial law.
All of the things that we know that they want to do because they've already demonstrated to us.
That's what they want, yes.
And they built it all already. Like all this stuff exists inside the NHS IT infrastructure, and so they just want an excuse to do it. And this stuff doesn't help. Basically,
it helps to feed into what it
feeds into their agenda. Yeah, but it doesn't. What we can't allow that to happen. And it's difficult, man, because there's a lot. It's quite rare that you get people like you and me will sit down and talk about this stuff.
People don't want to talk about it because a lot of people they're gagged by look, that pot of money, whether it be funding or whether it be that you're signed to a company that is umbrellaed underneath something else that is standing for something totally different, that if you was to know what they stood for, what they're actually invested in, and what they're actually got their toes and their hands mixed up in, you probably wouldn't sign a deal with these people. A lot of us don't know that some of these companies are so wrapped up, not just as even music label, record labels, club owners, maybe. You understand?
Any corporation, man.
We wouldn't know who's wrapped up with who.
Any corporation. So you see it a lot in music, right? Like the sort of standard. If you get a manager, the first thing that they'll talk about doing is, I want to get some brand deals, I want to get some money from Adidas, I want to get some money from this drinks company, I want to get this, I want to get that. As soon as you're into that, and that's the starting point for anyone if you're an artist, like, and you get someone who's going to come in and help you with the commercial side of what you're doing, beyond your own creative output, they're going to be looking for deals from companies. As soon as you're getting money from companies, and there's a lot of good money floating around, like, well, let's not call it good money, let's call it just a lot of money floating around for people to access.
That's right.
Then all of a sudden you got to self-censor. There's certain things you can't get involved in, certain things you can't talk on, and then it's like, hang on a minute, well, I know this is important and it's a community issue, but the thing is, if we do this, then it won't run down that well over there, and then this will get a risk, and everything starts to fall apart, basically, because your decision making is compromised.
It's burning bridges.
Yeah, you want to avoid, but people don't want to burn a bridge.
You don't want to burn that bridge.
They don't want to bite the hand that's feeding them.
There you go.
Even if the hand that's feeding them is also doing something unspeakable to them.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Around the corner, which is actually what's going on with those big companies, man. They're not good. Like, if you look at the supply chain of, even like I've got an Apple phone here. If you look at the supply chain of Apple, and people hold that company up as, they idolize it. Steve Jobs, his story, like the charisma, like people, they're like rock stars almost. But if you actually look at how that's made by slaves in China.
That's right.
People whose lives are maybe not quite total slavery, but not far off it. And then people want to jump in bed with Apple Music and Zane Lowe and whatever his name is over. He's moved over to LA, didn't he? He's the big guy on the BBC. It's like, okay, my guy's here to give us a bit of basically to distract people from the heinous shit that we're doing on a daily basis. And the artists are used to give them like PR cover to burnish their reputation so that people will continue to buy from them, even though we all kind of know that it's wrong.
Yeah, that's the marketing strategy.
For.
That is, yeah,
and that's a lot of, you know, if you look at organisations like the BBC, if the BBC didn't have its music programming, and you actually just looked at it as like the news service that's basically owned and run by the government because it's funded by taxation, so it's therefore by definition government.
Yeah.
Then you'd be like, hang on a minute, actually, this organisation is evil and it shouldn't exist. But because it's got all of the DJs and the MCs and the culture,
you forget about the rest of it.
They're like, well, you know, and also a lot of people are like, wow, I can't really say anything about this important topic because if I did, then I wouldn't get that BBC little residency 3-month thing that I want for my tour that I'm doing, and then this and then that, and then everything's all of a sudden like you're not doing anything useful and you're ignoring heinous stuff on a daily basis because you don't want to jeopardise your payroll. But then, you know, you don't realise that you run that out for much longer, 5 years, 10 years, and your payroll's not going to make any difference, unfortunately.
We always say we have to stand for something or fall for anything, bro.
Stand for something and fall for, yes, exactly, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And a lot of us are just falling for anything like we know no better, you know? I know that times are hard and everyone wants to be winning in one way or another, but to work amongst some of these people, knowing what they stand for, just to earn a bread or a crust is not worth it. Because the time that you're going to be sitting in hell for what you are doing, I don't think it will be worth whatever the riches is that they're giving you is not worth one day in hell for it. I'll tell you that for free.
So there's this phrase, what is it? A lie is sweet at the beginning and bitter at the end. And the truth is bitter at the beginning but sweet at the end.
Oh, right then.
And there's a lot of people who fall for the lie in music. And they've been given a lot of riches and a lot of profile, and a lot of visibility, and a lot of what they think is power. But then, in order to get into those positions and maintain those positions, they've had to go along with things or ignore things that should not be ignored.
True artists.
And then the end point for that will be transparency and
bro, true artists,
visibility.
The real artists that stand for the people and stand by the people. The real artists is that they said in a book where the singers and players of instruments shall be there. Bro, those people don't get awarded for the work they do.
No.
Because it's not about a man awarding them for anything. It's about the Most High awarding them on their journey and giving them longevity of a journey.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
The singers and the players of instruments. I like that
always
phrase.
Be there. But be there to do what? Because a lot of the singers and players of instruments today are not saying shit. They're not speaking up. No. So they're trying to tarnish those that were the messengers to warn the people of what's about to happen.
All right. So let's talk about. Have you seen the Bob Marley film?
No.
You not seen it?
No.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Okay. Well, because there's you know what it's about, innit?
I do.
Yeah. And you've probably heard people talk about it.
I'm fully aware.
Yeah, because as a Jamaican man, like, I know that there was a lot of people in the community who were very excited about that film.
Yeah.
And it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable film. I liked it.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it on reflection afterwards. And the thing is that was actually made by Babylon.
Thank you.
That film was made by Babylon. They control they are, which is really sad, mate, because they basically, if for my money, the way I read that.
Yeah.
Is there's a couple scenes in it, you haven't seen it, but you'll understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
The stories are supposedly about Bob Marley, right? And he's obviously the main character in it and the main thread of the storyline.
That's true.
But then there's a few interactions that he and the Wailers have with the music industry heads.
Yeah.
And basically, what I read from that is what they're showing you is that the artist is doing the artist thing.
Yeah.
Creating a work of genius, right? It's really about Exodus, and it is one of the best albums ever made. But then the tragedy of the whole situation is that they had to sign over the rights to that incredible artistic statement to the music industry, the major labels who are the orchestrators, the coordinators of the Babylonian system.
That's
and
right.
they've basically got ownership of that now. And if you look at the background of, well, first of all, you know, Brad Pitt was the exec producer on it. And he was in a film that came out about 18 months ago called Babylon. Yeah, so he was the main character in that film. And he was probably involved in producing it as well. And then they introduce in that film who the backers of Hollywood are, and they talk about the Rothschild family. And there's like a scene in that where they reveal all this stuff. And I'm sort of sitting there going, they're basically just telling you who they are and what they do. Right, like they're just coming out and explaining it all, and it's all hanging out in public, and people are just totally oblivious to it. But anyway, so Brad Pitt is top level Hollywood.
That's right.
Controlled. They're probably all controlled by the CIA. You know, like there's a lot of things that they have to do in order to get up into those positions. And he was the single named exec producer on the One Love film. And then you look at the guy that was the I can't remember his name now.
The lead actor.
No, there's the character who's like the major label guy. He's a Jewish guy in it called Howard something. Howard Bloom, I think his name might be.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, wait a minute, who's he? And you go and look into him, and he's a total full-on Satanist.
What?
Yeah. So he's written loads of books about Lucifer, and so hang on a minute. So there's this guy in the film who owns the rights to this.
Yes.
And we know that because you've shown us all of this situation. And you go and look at him. The story's all about Marley and the Wailers, but there's these two characters over here. There's a British guy who's the founder of Island Records. I'm going to forget his name now. And then my guy who was the guy that you know, like one of the top industry people. It's like, let's go and have a look at them, because we don't really talk about them. They're in it, but you don't talk about them. Let's go and look at them. Oh right, this guy's actually a Satanist. So if you actually look behind what was presented in that film,
do you know what? It's crazy, bro.
it was kind of mad, actually. I felt,
crazy.
And you can go real deep on that as well, because it basically shows you that if you're going to be cynical, you can read it like this. And this is not a diss to Bob Marley, by the way. Like,
disclaimer.
Ultimate respect.
Yeah.
But there's a way of watching that film which basically says it is the place of the black man to live a short, violent life.
What?
Which is what he did live in that film.
A short, violent life.
A short, violent life. He died at 36. There's a big shoot up earlier on. He gets done over by his mate. He's got a very.
Hold on, he got done over by his mate? What, in the movie?
Yeah, in the film, innit? Yeah.
What was that? That wasn't Peter Tosh?
No, it wasn't Tosh. No, and Tosh wasn't really in it.
No.
They're certainly not named at any point.
No, the actor for Peter Tosh went live days before the release, as his part didn't make the final cut.
Really? Okay, that's interesting, because I didn't notice him in there at all. And but he is named as a character on the film, so maybe he didn't have a speaking part. Tosh is probably the more interesting character than Bob Marley. But again, not a diss to Bob Marley. It's just Tosh is an absolute legend, right?
Facts.
But also, like the way that they tried to turn Bob Marley into this kind of saint type, idol type character. I feel a bit uncomfortable about this.
No,
like, why are you pushing this?
Bob was a bad boy.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that Bob was a bad boy. Bob was a man that would punch up a man. Yeah, he was in beef with, I forgot the artist's name. Let me see if I could. I don't want to dig it up right now. There's an artist that he was in beef with over a song.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was a song that they done, and the song was for Bob Marley, and Bob Marley done back a song for the brother saying you chat too much or you chatty or something along them ways there. They actually caught up at one of the studios and had a big fight outside the studio.
Okay, ultimately.
Yeah. So it's Bob's always been a strong kind of character where He's outspoken. He's always had bad boys around him. He's not just a saint with churchgoers around him, bro. He had real killers around him, bro. Facts. Hope Road didn't just have people that had hope. Hope Road was because there was a lot of no-hopers that Bob was trying to bring through with him.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you're a weak-minded and weak-hearted person. You got to be a warrior and a lion at some point. You got to be that type of natured person.
Yeah.
Bob was a lion.
He was.
He was a lion, bro.
He was a lion, yeah. But he felt like, I don't know, I felt very conflicted about it. And there was like some old like aunties, like Jamaican aunties out were like bawling their eyes because it was, remember the memories of Bob Marley and how great it was. And I was sort of sitting there going, but that was kind of a diss. Like the way that they did it was actually a bit of a it's quite disrespectful.
I think
that's just Hollywood.
If you're gonna tell a story, tell the story. And don't leave out the key players. Sydney shouldn't have been left out. Peter Tosh should definitely not have been left out. These are key players and key people that were in Bob Marley's life at that time.
Tosh was a true revolutionary.
That's right.
That's why they killed him.
That's right.
And because he was actually like a potent threat.
That's right.
And that is why Tosh got ended, and that's why he's not named in that film, because they don't want people talking about him. Yeah, because he was a serious fella.
Yeah, he weren't a joker. That man was serious for 100%.
The stepping razor, mate.
Yeah, I was a stepping razor. Don't you watch my size? I'm dangerous. Dangerous.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. If you want a Chucky, no matter Chucky upon me. Excuse me. Peter Tosh was a real rebel. Big up Peter Tosh and big up his family. Keeping his legacy alive for real.
But you were talking about community work. So Tosh was a community guy.
Yeah.
He didn't even go to Bob Marley's funeral.
No.
Yeah, like he was that. I don't know the detail of what altercations
what
they
it
had.
What it is that Rastafarians don't usually go to funerals full stop.
That's right.
But what caused the problem is that Peter Tosh had done a song maybe 9 months before Bob Marley had passed away, maybe a year before Bob Marley had passed away, but the label only decided to release the song the week before Bob Marley's burial.
Right.
And the song was them one tie, fi come a them funeral, them feel sad, a them a the general.
Limb by limb.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's what made the people believe that there was really something deeper going on between the two.
Is that Tosh, yeah?
That's Peter Tosh.
Is it?
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got two close brethrens, one of them drops out and then the other one drops that song. You don't know that it's the label that's dropped that song. You think that it's Peter Tosh that's dropped that song. You don't know the song's been written like a whole year ago and recorded.
I think it was maybe even longer than that, wasn't it?
Do you see what I'm saying? You're going to believe what's being pushed in front of you is that...
so that's an artificial beef they've been concocted by the majors.
There you go.
There you go, yeah.
So they've been playing that game.
There you go. That's what's going on at the minute, mate.
You know what I'm saying? So,
manufactured beef.
There you go.
Between artists, you know, and it's all a bit more gangster these days, a bit more blatant and upfront.
That's right. It's at Island Records. Muta Baruka spoke on these matters too. Yeah, big up Muta Baruka. Cause you see what that man has been spitting the knowledge and dropping gems for years. And a lot of people haven't been listening, you know what I mean? Big up to the Twin of Twins also, that's been dropping some serious gems when it comes to the historical things that have taken place.
Twin of Twins?
Twin of Twins, they're two brothers,
all right.
Identical brothers, and they are the voice of Jamaica, to be fair.
Okay.
They can duplicate anyone's voice.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, go and check them out online. The Twin of Twins, they have one of them's got a podcast also. I can't Cutting Edge, is it Cutting Edge podcast? I'm sure one of them. But big up the Twin of Twins. They've been putting in a lot of great work, and you can learn a lot from these young individuals.
The other thing as well, Ziggy Marley.
Yeah.
he says some dodgy stuff, man. He was renouncing his Jamaican heritage. I swear, like I've seen some.
What?
Yeah, I swear, like I've seen him say something. He's big on Israel as well, mate. Like he's basically like, I've always had an affinity for Israel. It's like, why?
What's going on here?
From the Caribbean.
What's going on here?
Like, probably live in America now. Like, why is this? Why are you coming out on this? Seems a bit odd.
Well, you see, my problem with a lot of the things that I see is that we don't have the singers and players of instruments speaking on the things that they know that the public is querying.
Right.
So, for instance, when Songbird was a movie that came out during lockdown, about lockdown and about the way that they want us to live and social. This is before the kitchen movie came out in regards to the social housing and how they're going to reclaim some of these social blocks that a lot of people were living in. Basically, Songbird was similar to that nature, to be fair. And they were dragging people out their houses and whatever else. What they'd done, they used Bob Marley's song to actually promote the movie at first, but it's the way they slowed down his vocal in it, like, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be alright. Alright, bro, it's creepy. Now, in my head, I'm thinking...
Like Nat King Cole there.
Bro, it was creepy, bro. And I tell you what, I know. Well, if the Marley family still have access or control over Bob Marley's recordings, then they would have had to have contacted the family to get permission and rights to use those raw vocals of Bob Marley's to put in that movie called Songbird. Now, to do that, I'm sure they would have had to have given them a breakdown as to what this movie is about. The fact that I've heard none of these brothers come forward and say, oh, you know, them use my father voice in one movie and boy, we're not happy with it, you know. Yeah, we sign off the vocal, but when we start checking to what them I do with the movie, Rasta, you understand, like, warn the people as to what's going on. Something's going on and no one's saying anything. You see what I'm saying? Like the kitchen is something to do with social housing. What they're going to do when lockdown happens, how they're going to take over things, how they're going to force people to comply with what their narrative is, and if you don't comply, how they're going to be removing you and dealing with you and getting rid of you. I don't hear no one speaking on these things. They're just taking the acting role, acting their part, and taking the praise. I'm confused.
That's music, mate. That's music in Hollywood.
But then,
and there's a lot of people, you look at them, it's like, hold on, you got a lot of followers, a lot of visibility,
very influential.
Very influential. Why you don't keep your mouth shut on a lot? Yeah.
Why is your mouth shut?
You kept your mouth shut on this.
Do you understand? Thank you.
What is that about then?
You can't pick and choose. You got to speak.
Yeah.
When it comes to
some people, mate. So the people, sure, I don't want to name anybody. The one that I was disappointed in particular with over the past few years was Killa. Yeah, because Killa is a very powerful voice individual. And a very intelligent man.
That's right. Very, very.
And there's a lot of things I listen to from him. I'm like, yeah, I agree with this. But then there was just this gap, like 2020, 21, that whole period of time. Where are you at, bro?
Silent.
You know, like,
silent.
And it's not just him, like, he's just the one that popped into my head because it was the most noticeable.
And choose, and then watch this. But this is why no one ain't fooling me. No one ain't tricking me in this. And I definitely stand as an individual that will always speak out on things that I personally don't like and I think is wrong. I know if I think it's wrong, there's millions of people that's gonna think it's wrong if you got a clear mind like myself and you got good intentions and do you understand, if you wear your heart on your sleeve like myself, there's loads of people that's gonna think things are wrong. If I saw it as wrong, why are they gonna think it's right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Only the demons and the devils that's working for the Baphomets are gonna think, that's all right for it to be wrong.
It's not anything to do with me.
Yeah, and denounce themselves, detach themselves from it.
Yeah.
Right, so...
well, that's basically what people do. They just like, well, you know, It's really bad, but what am I going to do about it? I'll just ignore it and then go over here and I'll pick up this little contract and do this little show.
Well,
big show.
When we're talking about the artists, and some of these singers and players of instruments, whatever they may be doing, bro. We were speaking about this a little while ago, where a lot of them are wrapped up in. They're wrapped up. They're in bed with these people, bro.
They're right, yeah.
They're in bed with them. The pillow, the duvet, the mattress. They're all a part of the same thing, bro.
Yeah, they definitely are, mate.
So
I mean, like, it links into what you were talking about with the community thing, right? You know this term. You'll definitely know this term, like major label plant.
There's a lot of plants.
There's a lot of plants.
Like, for instance...
So they'll come through and it's like, we represent grime. It's like, what?
Look, pause on that, because Archie just said something that makes sense. Titch, big up yourself. And we're definitely still trying to hold out on the smoking thing. I'm not going to lie, I've had a cigarette today. I bundled it right up. But yeah,
because it's Sunday,
but compared to what I was smoking before now, and it's only from yesterday I've been smoking 1 and 2, you get me? But it's only because it's keeping my appetite, the hunger's, and I'm always eating now, so it's a good look. But Archie said, I swear Ashley Waters went live on IG and was cussing the community for being skeptical about the vaccines. Now, for me, characters like those are the sellouts of us. Yeah, people like him, people like Idris, Elbro, whatever his name is, that jumps up when they think, for the sake of the community and the cameras and the lights and the action, I'm the guy. You're not the guy. You people are puppets being played, and they're using you because you guys look like us, or you got a story that's similar stories to us. They think we can relate to you. We can't relate to you if you're telling us go and take the vaccine when we know millions of people have died through taking that. Especially the elders that had underlying issues went and took stuff, and they use you people to come on social media and say, take this, take that, and then after you've done all of that, they make you go on IG and go live saying, oh, look babe, this is our new house, revolving doors bust open, Jeep drives up in. You get me, bro? You've got paid to do a job. We get it. It's just a job. But we know who you are. And you are not for the community of us. Yeah, and we make that very clear. I don't stand with nobody that works amongst the government that is working against the people. And I make that very clear. I don't stand with anybody that holds hands with the devils and expect to seek a blessing standing amongst us afterwards. No, I don't. I make that very clear. Bag of sellouts.
You pulled out a couple of big names there, you know.
Yeah. Well, they are sellouts. A couple of big names. Let me explain why they're sellouts. Idris guy. I'll tell you why he's a sellout. Because he was just on they used him as the forefront guy for knife crime and the killings.
Zombie knives.
All right, then within the communities and whatever else. Well, just before that campaign was going on, literally a few months before that campaign kicked off. Who remembers when Bounty Killa and Baby Sham came over to the UK to promote their new song? They came over to promote their EP. One of the songs on the EP is got Idris on the song. The song's called Bad Man, and they said they had to draw for the baddest man in the UK, who? Idris. So no disrespect to Bounty Killa and Baby Sham, but they clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to collaborating with idiots and thinking that they're the bad man them of the UK. Get the hell out of here.
Baby Sham, Ghetto Story, Baby Sham.
Ghetto Story,
That's
Baby
a bad
Sham.
Tune, that is, mate.
So this makes me know that there are A&Rs, there's management teams that's putting people together.
Yeah.
And then they're running off and doing their little campaigns and don't understand what the hell they're doing. So let me keep it clean and clear as to where I stand with this and why I don't let none of these little idiots infiltrate what I'm doing. None of them can't chat to me, can't even address me. Never. These people couldn't sit on the same amongst the table like how we're sitting right now, Ben. These people could not address me as Patrick, much less Killer P as an artist. They couldn't be amongst me, bro, because I already know who you are. And as much as in the music, I stand for whatever it is. My music speaks for itself. But those people are not musicians. Those people are actors. Bounty Killer is an artist. He doesn't understand that this guy's an actor, and he's got ghostwriters that will write him a verse just so that they can give him an opportunity to be amongst you guys. Because for the marketing stunt, it works.
Yeah. It gives him credibility, you know.
Simon, big up yourself. A lot of people don't like when I speak because I speak the truth. And I really do know how to break down fuckery that they put in front of us to make us think it's good things. No, we have to step back a few steps and have a look at it again and wonder, hold on, where's this coming from? All of a sudden there's bare campaigning going on. Everyone's in community centres here, there and everywhere. Idris is everywhere with them. Bare pictures taken and trying to play tough guy. I remember when one of our brothers dropped out. One of our brothers passed away, and he had done a movie the movie was the same name as one of my little brothers that passed away. And my sister done reach out to the people them, and he aired them out. Just like a lot of these organizations that claim that if you want to if you've got a problem here or you got a problem here, just hit us up and we'll get in contact with you and whatever. There's people that have reached out to many of these organizations, and years down the line they haven't had a reply up till now. What's the point in having people sending their details to your website if you don't get back to anybody? What is the absolute point? Or is it all just for show?
Yeah, it's just show, isn't it? And is this, you're talking about what, like charities and community organising?
Yeah, bro.
Sort of organisations?
Yeah, bro. This is why we don't trust them. Me personally, you're an organisation within our community, yeah? And you're coming from the standpoint of, I'm an ex-road man and I mean my community good and whatever else. Then bruv, link up with other people that mean the community good also. All put your money together and let's try and build something. If you're not doing that, then I'll see what you're about. Because the nowadays people, I see the hustlers of today are opportunists that's just looking for wherever that pot is. And wherever they see that pot of money, they will start singing that song that they think people want to hear.
Oh, they'll go stand next to, there was this thing in, what was it? I want to say Kingswood Estate, wherever the one in Homerton is, I think it's Kingswood, Kingsmead. And they set up a community shop. And it was a good thing, and I think it's still running because they was well set up, and it was a good thing. But then you had certain people come through. I think Maya Jammer's has gone through, and she's like elevated them, and it makes her look good, basically.
Yeah.
And she like whips in there, everyone gets excited, and then she's gone. It's like, okay, you actually just wanted to come in and stand next to the charitable activity in order to make yourself look like a good person. But
like you're doing something.
Those people are still living in poverty on that estate, and it's 3 years down the track and you're earning millions and you ain't talking about it now.
Look at that.
You know.
Someone said, yes, sell out, Idris. I big up Joni, my sister, manners and respect and good evening. Simon says, man them was saying take the vaccine, not just Idris. A lot of celebs was like, what's they trying to do?
I think Ian Wright even, man, I was disappointed about him.
Yeah, all of them, bro. They're the biggest coconuts and sellouts. You think I respect them? Enough of them I don't rate them. You think they can't chat to me? Man's real to the bone and black to the bone, but it doesn't mean that I'm just pro-black and don't love anybody else and respect anybody. Yeah, you mad? I just know myself. I know what I will do and what I won't sell myself out to do and what I won't sell out my people for. I'm not selling shit apart from music. Music.
They invested a lot of energy in what do they call it? People of colour. We need to reach out to the people of colour.
And see, that's the biggest disrespect.
So racist,
that's the biggest disrespect of all times. Yeah. Reach out to the people of colour. Anyone call me person of colour, I'll slap some colours into you. Don't ever make that mistake, please. Look at my hat. When I say look at the logo of Talk We Mind.
Talk We Mind.
Yeah, you can see it's many different colours of persons in that. Yeah. That just represents the backgrounds and the cultures, not colour of skin or just colour of a person. No, just people. That's what it means.
We're all individuals.
Come on, man. The people that are trying to mash up people left, right, and centre, and then they got everyone else using the same languages and just disrespecting themselves and not understanding what they're doing.
And they stolen the culture as well. Like there's so many people. If I was getting onto this earlier and we went into something else, there's a lot of people. It's one of the things that I've really noticed. Oh, thank you, mate. Is in grime in particular is where it's most noticeable, but it happens all over the place. But certainly in grime, there's a lot of people who are big in grime, what they call grime, who are not anything to do actually with grime. But they've not come through
the ranks
on the pirate. They've not come through in any kind of certain raves or whatever, like the actual legitimate events run by the people who were there early on, and basically like the guardians of the whole thing, you know, like they've just sort of come in around the side and popped up, and it's like, this is grime now. It's like, really? Yes. This sort of pop music stuff, this is grime, is it? Because it doesn't sound like it, and we don't know who you are.
Nah.
And
never seen them on Deja.
It's just major label. It's major plant, isn't it? It's a major
industry
plant.
Agents. I call them industry agents. They all shut their mouth when it's time, but when everything's quiet and everything's good, they are getting the most marketing, the most PR going on in the background.
Crazy.
And you can't get an edgeway being seen. So for me, I already know who everybody is, because I've been here long enough to see how we all came up and how the opportunities are all presented. Then versus those that have dropped out of the sky like bird shit, and now they're just in front of us.
Yes. And they play the game, which is the pop idol game, which is where they'll have like a handful of people who are really big and then nothing. And that's how the money flows as well. So they'll have like 5 MCs who are dominant and got all of the visibility and all of the money, and then there's no money or visibility going anywhere else in the system. And the thing about something like grime, same with dubstep, same with jungle, all of it really, it's a team sport, right? Like there's the individual performance within it, but like a lot of the progression comes from the collective, you know, like these big crews going up against each other, the competitive dynamic to it. Like you need other people inside the system. It's not just,
I feel like even
the label.
I think Stormzy is grime, to a degree, because he's putting that work now and they acknowledge him as that. But what it is with Stormzy, I think Stormzy's been playing the system that's trying to use him, and he's been winning against them, so to speak. He's been winning against them, so to speak, because one thing I can say about Stormzy makes it very clear that he's a God-fearing person, bro. That is one thing I can say. Who's sponsoring him are demons. Yes, we know that. But how he's using these people,
Is he using them?
I would like to think that he's using them, bro. Because
I've not heard him talking any kind of
he doesn't speak.
Issue.
You know what he does is play safe. He doesn't want to burn his bridge on either side. So he tries to keep it as real as he can within the music and in the eyes of the people. That's why when the little girl passed away in Croydon, he was there because he's from Croydon, bro. So he's going to represent his place and represent his people at the same time, even though the PR people behind him know that that's a good PR stunt as well. It's going to bring more, publicity to your profile, and it looks good for you, Storms. Do that. But at the same time, that's what he would have done anyway. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
To a degree. I'm not speaking for him like I'm covering nobody's ass. No, I don't do that, bruv. Why for that? But what I'm saying is, yes, he's a plant to some degree because he didn't come through pirate radio station. He's never been on a pirate show with us. Cool. But what have I seen him do other than that? That makes me think you're against us.
He blew up on YouTube, didn't he? Was he one of the first of that generation that came through on YouTube?
Yeah. But he was already signed to majors then. When we thought he wasn't signed, he was always signed.
Okay.
This is my point. This is why I think he's used them to cut through. Rather than go through the ranks, he's just used them to cut through, and then they've used him to go against Wiley, who they know Wiley's the godfather of the genre.
But he's less. You can't control Wiley.
Do you know what I'm saying? But you can control.
Problem with Wiley.
But you can control Stormzy.
Well, it's not a problem with Wiley.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It's just him.
Yeah, so
but he's going to drop 10 albums worth of rhythms on the internet and not tell you, and that's what Wiley's going to do.
I've personally done shows with. I've done shows with Stormzy. Yeah, and I've sat on the same plane, laugh and joke, and you know what I mean. He's a good person, down to earth, cool kid. I know that personally, bro. Okay. I can only speak on what I know personally. So for anyone out there that might be thinking, why is he saying that? Like, I don't know. I know Stormzy. He's good people, bro. You see what I'm saying?
But I guarantee you that there are things that he says because he's told to.
That's 100,000%.
Right, and sometimes those things are very divisive.
1,000%.
Right, which is not good for anyone.
No.
Right, apart from him and the people who want him to do that, and that's not good. And
again,
when there'll be things that he doesn't say because he's told not to. Yeah, and he's actually got the profile that he could do something useful, and he's not doing it.
He's not going to do that. Because see what that's going to do. What's that's going to do now is, see what the problem is, my brother, is that he's taken the check.
Yeah,
you've taken the check. You've taken the bag.
How much money do you need, though?
You've taken the bag. You've already got the bag. Forget it. Shut up. Don't do what Wiley done. You can't do what Wiley done. You can't take the bag and then switch against the people that's feeding you. It's called biting the hand that fed you.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to do is not bite the hand that's feeding him, but he's trying not to eat all of the food that they're trying to present him, because some of the food is poisonous.
I don't buy it.
And that's why sometimes you don't buy it.
You cut him a lot of slack, mate. You went in on Idris earlier.
Idris, I got nothing with Idris, bro. I've never sat down with him. I've never shared a flight. Never been at Outlook doing a boat party with Idris, but I've done a boat party with Stormzy.
All right.
I've sat down with Tiny, who's his DJ, his manager. You see what I'm saying? I've sat down with these people. I see Stormzy in Stratham. Bib, bust his car door. Yo, Kills, yo, Storms, what I want? Bro, it's different. So I can't just say, because it might look a certain way, it might actually not be what it is. There's many cases like that, bro. The only thing that I can say is that he didn't come through the ranks of piracy like we did.
No.
So that does raise questions, right? Cool. How do we find the answers for those questions, though? If I can't find all of those answers, then I can't go against all of what I... You see what I'm saying?
I'm not sitting here trying to take down anyone in particular, man. What I do think is that is, like I was saying, like grime has basically been... it's been sanitised. Like they've turned it into pop music, and then you see certain people, I can't even think... What's that? Is it one of the grime awards? They do it on top of like a skyscraper in the Sky Garden, that place that's in the city. There's like a park on top of one of the things down there. They did one of the big grime gala or something like that. I was looking at it, I was like, that's not grime.
Well, you got to remember,
you're on top of a skyscraper, mate. No grime up there.
You won't ever see Killa P being invited to these events, bro.
No,
and this is how you know the plants are the plants. And if you want to know a plant, you want to see the plants of what's going on, the agents of what's going on. Look at the repetitive faces that you see at all of these top events.
Yeah.
Why is there nobody else? Those faces are not the only people that represent grime. Those are not just the only people that keep grime alive.
I don't think they represent grime at all.
Right. So my point.
I think you need to go mode or somewhere, like, you want to understand
Mode FM.
where grime's actually being represented in 2024. It's got nothing to do with what's happening with the majors. It's what it was always before, right? It's basically people on the street level carving it out and doing it for a very pure reason, basically, which is primarily like for the art form for its own sake.
It's funny that you should go into this anyway, because you know what leads into the next part and the next segment of the conversation, which is you're gonna break down where most of these artists are getting their funding from, getting their sponsorships from, who the sponsorships are backed by.
Yeah. We can
go into all of that.
We can talk about that. Yeah. Come on.
And we can just throw up a few bits and let them.
Yeah. We can put a couple of things up. I'll show you some of the stuff. Some of it relates to what's going on geopolitically.
Yeah.
Like with the wars in the Middle East.
There you go.
It's basically like a genocide happening in real time. Like,
thank you.
He's got to be stopped somehow. And then, but it's understanding what sits behind it, and then also like how that links into music as well, because it is linked into music.
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a bit mad, isn't it? How are we going to get him up?
So we want to start off.
We'll start off with that. Yeah, just start at the bottom one. We're not quite as slick as we are normally today.
Yeah, no, I've forgotten a few equipment bits today, so I apologise, my people.
But we've hacked it together.
That's right. So let's start. I think we'll start off here, right?
Yeah, let's have a look at that one.
Is it that one there?
So this was, I won't go into all of this.
I don't think that's the first one. I don't think that was the first one, to be fair.
No, that's fine. That'll do. Well, we can talk about that one. That'll do.
Yeah.
So basically, there's a bunch of conversations happening at the minute that are being coordinated by what came up a minute ago, the yellow screen. It's an organisation called Tortoise Media.
Yeah.
And they are leading a lot of discussions about the future of the country, and actually the future of humanity. And a lot of what they're doing with artificial intelligence and these digital systems, they want everyone connected by these devices 24/7. They want to digitize the state and the way that you interact with government, and they want to invest loads of money in building these next generation artificial intelligence technologies and using that to control the masses, basically. Like, that's what those systems are there to do.
Crazy.
Control what we see and what we hear, control our access to the fundamentals of daily life, like how you use money, your ability to travel, like all of this kind of digital network that already exists, and we already use a bit of it, but they're in the process of centralising it and consolidating all of that power. And this organisation here, Tortoise, has been coordinating a lot of that conversation. They had a big event 2 weeks ago where they talked about, how am I going to do this? Yeah, at this place. Oh, you can't see it here, people, but basically we got a screen about 15 feet away, and I'm trying to click a little buttons. He's got it. They hosted it in this place, yeah, which is called Waddesdon Manor. This was 10 days ago now.
Yeah.
This thing called the Responsible AI Summit. And Waddesdon Manor is owned by the Rothschild Foundation.
Wow.
Which is the Rothschild family, which is a very famous banking dynasty.
Wow.
Who sit right at the heart of the global financial system, the way that the central banking system works. And they hold an enormous amount of power, and they operate behind the scenes, basically, pull a lot of the strings with our politicians. The Lords Rothschild sit in the House of Lords, so they're in the top levels of the British establishment, and they are coordinating these discussions in every area of the system.
Absolutely crazy.
Right now, they do it. They run events. They get very high profile people, regulators, big tech barons, politicians, together to talk about their plans for the future, basically. And they do it all behind closed doors, so we can't listen to these conversations, but they're being coordinated by this organisation on the left, the Rothschild Foundation. And you can see on the right-hand side there that the Rothschild Foundation is linked to this organisation called Yad Hanadiv. And you can see like
Yad Hanadiv.
Yad Hanadiv, yeah, which is an Israeli organisation. So the Rothschild family is a Jewish banking family, and you can see that the little sign that they have, they've got the 5 spears tied up with ribbon. That's their signal, their sigil, even like their mark. So you can see that the Rothschild Foundation and the Yad Hanadiv have got the same mark above their names.
That's crazy.
And Yad Hanadiv is it's the Israeli version of the Rothschild Foundation, and they used it to fund the design and the creation of the Israeli Supreme Court.
Okay.
Yeah, if you click onto the next one, yeah, this one. So that's the Israeli Supreme Court, and you can see the second from the right, that's Lord Jacob Rothschild, who died a couple of weeks ago. But he's got a son and various other offspring, so the family line is still in existence, and that's a model of the Israeli Supreme Court. That's crazy.
Yeah. Let's find that. Let's find the next one.
Yeah. So that's funded by this organisation, and that's the building itself as it is today. Like, so it's been built. I think it was finished in the 90s, I believe. Don't hold me to that. But that's the seat of Israeli lawmaking. Basically,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and then behind it is the Knesset. That's the Israeli Parliament, and that organisation funded the building of those two buildings.
Okay.
And
the Rothschild Foundation funded it.
The Rothschild Foundation built them.
Wow.
So it sits squarely behind Israel.
Wow.
Like, with everything that's going on.
Wow.
Today in Gaza, they sit behind it, and they're also at the same time coordinating these discussions in Buckinghamshire, just outside of London, on a regular basis. Like, they're doing these things every couple of months to talk about how they regulate the system. And as you know, you would agree with me, I'm sure, the situation in Gaza at the moment is completely unacceptable. It's a crime against humanity. Like, they are committing an atrocity, and we're all helping. Yeah, like, if you pay tax in this country, you're paying for that, and our politicians and even like the US politicians, Donald Trump, like Javier Milei from Argentina, like, all of them have lined up and basically said, we stand with Israel. Netanyahu can do whatever he wants. And this is all just going on basically on a daily basis. Like, you can't, and it's one of the things that's causing so much distress in the UK at the minute as well, right? Because a lot of this discussion about racism and imperialism and all that kind of stuff is done in the context of a very obviously ongoing injustice.
That's right.
Yeah. But this links, it doesn't just link into the banking system or the technology that we use or all that kind of stuff. It also links into the music industry, because they got links into
everything.
Yeah, they do.
How does it link into the music industry? Can you explain a bit more?
Well, yeah, I can. Well, I'll show you. Like, so then the next one. So this woman here, this is Kate Rothschild.
Kate Rothschild.
Yes.
Wow.
So she's part of the family. And she's on the board of trustees of Yad Hanadiv. You can see it on the right-hand side there, right? So she's on the board of trustees of this organisation that is behind
this Rock Nation UK.
And she's also
Rock Nation UK.
She's also the UK manager of Rock Nation.
Oh,
which
my
is
days.
That's Jay-Z.
Hold on.
In the US, that's Rockefeller Records, isn't it? And
that's right.
And then it's also.
So hold on, who's Rock Nation UK again? Who's a part of Rock Nation again? Hold on. There's beer rappers them sign up to this thing. Hold on, no, cause that's another gem just dropped just now, you know. Blow, KP! Blow.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's everyone really. Like, this is the US site, so you're getting everybody on here. But Meg Thee Stallion,
Lil Uzi
Vert, Christina Aguilera, Alicia Keys is on here.
Oh my days!
But a lot, you know, Buju Banton's on here actually.
No.
You know, like
who?
Buju Banton.
Buju Banton.
Isn't it, bro?
Oh shit!
You were talking about him earlier.
Oh shit! Now see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know. So you're over the other side screaming all this righteous shit, and you don't even know who you're a part of the same dirt.
Ain't it, bro? Rihanna's on there.
Jada Kiss. Was that Kiss I just saw? The Locks. Oh my days.
Yeah, and a lot of
J. Cole. Go up a minute.
Yeah, J. Cole. Yeah.
Oh.
J. Cole.
Oh, this is not looking good.
Nah.
This is not looking.
And then
good.
they're big in sport as well. So like they got in football. They got what's his name? Rashford. He signed up. We knew that though. He signed up with Jay-Z, man. Like 2 or 3 years ago.
That's crazy.
So they're all directly connected to the
Rothschild.
basically to the group that are standing behind Israel, and Israel's basically a military dictatorship. You know, like they're behaving like an imperial power. Like they're trying to ratchet everything up into a big war with Iran. Like they're talking about it very publicly. You know, like they're very happy to tell you that they want a massive international conflict. We're going to pay for it, and it's being organised by this organisation, and they're also directly linked into the top levels of hip hop and all the music. The other bits of the music industry, the top baseball, basketball, NFL, like all of it.
Rap man, that's it. He's definitely one of them. Hold on. Chasing Status.
Oh, what are they on there?
Chasing Status love their sus. They love the Israelis. Wow. You don't know more than I do, boy. I tell you that, boy. It's good to talk, you know. Yeah, Young Gordon, big up yourself. All the Grammys are going. Look at where all the Grammys are going now. This is what I'm talking about. People, this convo's getting a bit too deep. This convo's getting... hold on. Let me just pause on this for a second. Hold on. All right, peeps. This convo's getting a bit too deep. I think I might just switch off my shit. Yeah? because I want to because it's gonna make me have to just get serious and start talk some things, and everyone's just gonna have to hate me tomorrow, and it's just one of them things. Chasing Status. This is why I've never done a song with Chasing Status. I'll never do a song with them. This is why one of my so-called members from my group left my group in debt, may I add, to run over there Chasing Status with Chasing Status. For me, I laugh and I joke. I just laugh because I know, you know, some people will do anything just to get a slice of bread, whether it's buttered or not. Good luck to them. Divine said, take time. We not no time I take, you know, cause time now wait for nobody. So me not take no time with nobody neither. No.
They're big things, mate. Like that Badder Than tune. Like,
that Badder Than tune was stolen from me. Let me be public and talk now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Google, go on YouTube and tap in Badder Than Them. Killa P and Booker. How many years ago I done that? Look how big that song is. All of a sudden, they steal my style to create and get the hell out of here. Huh? And then that's awarded. Yeah. And look, the algorithm will push their one to the top, innit? Badder Than Them, Killa P, gone. What year was that done? 4 years ago. Okay then.
Is it?
Oh, okay then. I am an originator, my friend. Yeah, I'm the one.
It's the same lyric.
Huh?
The same lyric.
No, style, bro.
Yeah.
People thief your style and create styles off of your style and don't pay homage to you, bro. This is the whole reason why we speak out as musicians that create the creative source.
Patrick doesn't get invited into the big house because he's you can't control him.
No, actually, I'm not somebody that anybody would want to control because I'm an actual nice person, and actually what I do is show up other people that don't have the qualities that they should have. That's all it is, because the qualities that I have outshines the room, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So Badder Than gets...
I'm with you, man.
Badder Than is a tune that gets stolen and goes up because that's who they're with, which is cool. I bear no grudge against anything. I just know I'm the originator. Respect the thing. Put some respect on my name. Right? I've not received a Grammy. I've not received the Best Artist of the Year or the Artist of the Year. Flowdown got Grammy. Cool. But if you got Grammy, don't sing Pinaminan 1 no more. Why are you still singing Pinaminan 1? Every big show that you get from getting a Grammy, now you're doing that till they're writing that you ripped my song. Bro, they ain't ever gonna give me my they call it flowers. I just say, give me my respect for what my hard work is, bro. Huh? But because I'm not invited to your after parties and I won't turn up and I won't eat your caviar and I won't kiss ass like most of these little idiots that kiss ass to be where they wanna be, Killa P will just remain underground amongst my people doing what I do best. Big up to the promoters that support Killa P, that I support them and turn their brands into big brands across the world and across the universe. You get me? That's where it's at. So I say this to say this, bro. I say that to say this. The people that get awarded for other people's work are people that have done something that other people would never do. Now you can read in between those lines for yourself, because a lot of you lot didn't go to school, but you still can, you know what I mean? You still got the grades, so you can read in between the lines of most of the things that are said. It is what it is.
The music industry is run by thieves, man.
Of course.
It's mad, and it's the, well, a lot of the system is the thing about music in particular that I find like the most disrespectful is that people are so passionate, like musicians are so passionate about it,
yeah.
and the industry just takes advantage of that passion basically, and it's very exploitative, and it's such a personal thing. Like if you just go to work and you do a job and you do a day's work, and you know, like that's different. One thing. But if you're pouring your heart and your soul into creative expression, and then that just gets lifted.
Now watch.
By someone.
I tell you why they.
It's really dark.
I tell you why they steal my stuff most of the time, my friend. It's because I effortlessly create styles. I don't put pens to paper to create styles, bursting my brain cells trying to figure out something. I just put on a beat. I'll give you 15 to 25 different styles on that one beat within 5 minutes. Then you can pick what style you want to use. Bro, I don't ever have writer's block or idea block. I lived. So if I've lived and I speak about my experience of my livity, I don't need to write about it. That comes to me like that. Why is it so hard for artists to find songs that make sense? Because they don't live what they sing about, and what they claim they will do, they've never done in their life. Me, on the other hand, I have. Everything I sing about, there's a difference. You gotta live it. You just gotta live it, bro. And most of them have not lived it. Most of them chat pop, a lot of pop. And they rely on people like me to say stuff like, who de them, for 100 man to jump on a song, trying to recreate my style, like them this, them that. You can't outshine the guy who created who de them. You know, that's why I say who de them, I don't know them, and I've never seen them on the road. How enough of them are going like gangster and them frightened for what on them own? Now me have him gyal a scream and a moan. Any boy this me broke a man's bone, and I don't wanna send another DJ home. So don't talk when a gunman tongue car. We better than them, yeah, we madder than. Come on, we been throwing styles all over the place. Let them teeth what they wanna teeth, cause that's who they are. They're lyrical tea leaves, and we are lyrical trendsetters. Leave it there.
Is that a mook, innit? Is that they call a mook?
Them a pirate. But it
alpha, mate. That's what they call alpha, you know. That's raw creativity.
But bro, the only thing that keeps me humble in my position is that I genuinely know that the Most High has blessed me to create things that allow other people to make a living from what I've created, bro. Even if I don't make a living out of it for myself, they're able to make a living for themselves. Without me, they would have never made a living out of that. Without me putting them on stages, making them stay in hotels, paying for come on, bro. So we don't hold grudge on it, but we just want you to show the respect for what we've done. We ain't no helpers, but yes, we helped you. You get it? All right. Yeah, that's why they don't like me. That's why they don't like me. They ain't gonna like me. But we don't want a boy like me. A gal alone for like Killa. How am to you? Girls only. On to the next one, though, my bro. We ain't gonna hold up. What's this about?
Oh right, yeah. We'll talk on this a little bit. So basically, well, look, this ties back to what we've been talking about, right? So they're actually trying to spark off a civil war.
Yes.
And one of the most effective ways that they've got to do that is through racial conflict.
That's right.
It's hands down, like, let's put it out there, yeah? Like, if they could spark off a race war, then that would be real convenient for the people in power at the minute, because they can bring in all of the draconian laws, new regulations that we'll have to comply with. They'll just be able to screw it down tighter and tighter and tighter. The more violent it gets, the more chaotic it gets. Yeah. So they want it unsettled, anxious, people fighting with each other, getting into scraps on social media. Hopefully that will spill out onto the street. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another thing. Like there was that guy last year, was it Chris? I can't remember his name.
Chris Kabar.
Yeah, him, Kabar. Yeah. Yeah. He got shot. Like maybe they do these things to antagonise us, right? And then a lot of what's been going on recently is these like racial politics, man. You know, this whole like you can't be racist against white people thing. It's all rooted in critical race theory. It's like left-wing communist political ideologies, which are designed to cause friction.
Emotional reaction.
That's the job of. That's what they're there for.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's all you hear about on the TV. It's all you hear about in the newspaper. And then they're doing a real big job of pushing this stuff to the youth. So there's this because you know, like if you can get 20, 25-year-olds, even younger than that, you know, like 15, 16, 17-year-olds out on the street. You know, they're a bit more active, they've got more time in their hands. Like if you want to actually spark something off, then a lot of it will come from that kind of younger generation, you know.
That's true.
And it's easier to get them riled up and a reaction out of them. And there's this organisation called My Life, My Say, MLMS, in the top left, you can see there.
Yeah.
And it's run by that fella, he's the chairman, Andrew Ruffin. But he's also the chief executive of it, the founder of it is a guy called Mete Choban, who's a Hackney councillor. Okay. I think he's Kurdish fella. I think he's Kurdish.
So what does he do? What does this guy do?
So that guy's the chair. Well, he does a few things. Well, first thing is he's the chairman of that charity on the top left. Yeah. And that charity is directly linked to Tony Blair Global Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, and Tony Blair's he's a war criminal. Mm-hmm. And he was responsible for the deaths of 1 million people in Iraq. Yeah, so he's directly helping that charity.
Yeah.
That organisation, NCS, that is run by David Cameron, Lord Cameron now.
Wow.
Former Prime Minister. So you've got former Labour, former Tory Prime Ministers, they're helping out this charity. Wow. You've got Sadiq Khan there.
Wow.
London Mayor's office. You've got... is that One Young World? Yeah, so UK Youth. So that's they're connected into the royal family. So that's Princess Anne. They're also connected via One Young World to Meghan Markle.
Wow,
she's a big time race baiter, man. Like a lot of anything she says, nah. Anything Harry says, nah. I'm not listening to this. Like this is just all part of their little story that they're spinning, and then they're linked directly to the Rothschilds as well. So that R&Co 4 generations.
Yeah,
that's the Rothschild family in Paris, and then Tortoise, who I was talking about earlier, that's basically controlled by the Rothschild family in the UK. So you've got 2 branches of the Rothschild family, and then they're also directly connected to the US State Department, who are the people that start all the wars.
Wow.
Yeah, so like...
Is that the top right one you're talking about?
Top right, that's the US State Department, US Embassy in London. And then below that is Plexel, which Andrew Ruffin on the left there, he's also the chief executive of Plexel, which it's a UK government technology innovation facility on the old Olympic Park, right down by Hackney Wick, where all the clubs and that are in Hackney Wick now.
Wow.
And they're working directly with MI6.
Secret intelligence.
Military intelligence, yeah. So MI6 and all the politicians as well. So, you know, like, it's just this whole like mix-up mush of military intelligence agencies, military industrial complex, UK government departments, lots of big dodgy corporate money floating around, loads of old school, like very establishment politicians, and then they're all very much focused on young people. So that My Life, My Say is all focused on under 30s.
Wow.
So they're like going ham on really targeting young people. A lot of it is what they call people of colour.
Yeah.
Which is not a term that I like, and Patrick doesn't like it either, because like,
very disrespectful.
I'm not going to define myself like that. You know, you might as well go around saying I'm an IC3.
Thank you.
That's what I think about the term people of colour. Oh, look, the IC3s are over there. Like, what are you on about, mate? You sound like a Fed. Like, this is wrong.
Sound like a Fed.
But people self-identify as this. Yeah. It's like, I'm a woman of colour. It's like, really?
Are you really?
Why do you call yourself that? Like, it seems like a strange thing to opt into. Anyway, all of those organisations are lined up with My Life, My Say. And then can you get the next one? If you can, mate, your eyesight, you should be a sniper or something.
Bro, 20/20 vision I got, you know. You
do.
Honestly, I only wear glasses just
for the look.
Yeah.
Yes, mate. So then they run this. They did this big launch event called Common Futures Forum, which it was at Plexel, which is the MI6 technology lab.
Okay.
Which is also where MLMS is based. So they're based in an MI6 facility, MI6 connected facility. It's all linked up to the State Department, CIA, like all that kind of stuff.
Crazy.
And controlled by the Rothschild family, who we've been talking about. And they ran this thing with Sadiq Khan, and then put the next one up. And then basically at this event, you had what's the name? Dr. Shola there. Ooh. And Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton, we know about, like, old school American, like, community organizer. That's what he described himself as.
Yeah.
But for me, he's just a grifter, right? Like, he's one of them people, and you're starting to see it more in the UK, but you definitely see it in the US. They come out and they just go hard on the racial division stuff.
Yeah.
And they make a lot of noise, and all their political capital out of it, and basically what happens ultimately is that they end up making a load of money, and they never fix any of the problems that they're complaining about, and a lot of the time they end up making it worse, right? And that's generally what's been going on. And then Shola is a really good example of that in the UK. Basically, because if you go listen to her, I describe them, they're like hate preachers, her in particular, because she's just, if you go listen to her, she just complain, attack. There's never anything positive. And and the real interesting thing about her, in the context of what we've just been talking about, is that if you go and look at what she's talking about in a minute, it's all anti-Israel. She's criticising Israel. But then the thing is, she's, based on what we've just been talking about here, she's been put up on a platform, on a pedestal, by the people that are running Israel. So she's
that's a conflict of interest already.
It's like, okay, well, you're saying all these stuff.
Yeah.
But then you're actually being controlled. You look like you're being controlled by the people that you're criticising.
The very same people.
The same people. Like, it's so.
That's crazy,
isn't it?
So is it that they've put her up to whatever it is that she's doing? It would only make sense that they're putting her up to do that, because there's a reaction that they're looking, and they expect that if it's coming from her,
because she's so aggressive. And she antagonises people, basically. Like, if you listen to everything that every angle she comes with, it's all through a racial lens. And
that's crazy.
Like, it exacerbates the problem.
Do you know
and they know that, and that's why she's allowed to go on to these programs. Like, she's on Good Morning Britain, she's on like ITV News sometimes. Like, she does loads of mainstream media because it's convenient for them.
For them.
to have someone on there that's very divisive.
See my point again. You see, without going into these kind of reasonings and conversations and doing certain researches that I know you've done, we wouldn't be looking at Shola in that way.
Well, no, because people
you're just gonna think it's just gonna spark that racial conversation. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, she's not racist. No, she is racist. No, but she stands for this, or no, she don't stand for that though. But without going deep in depths with where is it coming from, who's sponsoring you, who signed you to do what, who are you working for? Yeah. And who are they working for, and who are they owned by? And when you go into start to go down that flipping
Babylon, mate. It's Babylon.
All right, agents of the agenda.
That's what that all is. That I'm just showing. That's Babylon.
Agents of the agenda.
That's exactly it. And I think she's part of it. She's not the only one. She's just the one that's popped up though. Because, like, I'll be honest with you, I find her vexing. Because what we don't need is people agitating or tribalising around racial lines, because that is going to prevent the unification of the people that will actually allow growth and progress to occur.
Very true,
because she's basically up at the minute. What she's doing, she's up there talking about she's criticising Israel and saying we're pro-Palestine, but because she's so divisive, it makes a lot of people who, let's say, you know, like British people, white people from outside of London, maybe got less contact with people from more diverse communities, so they'll look at someone like her and be like, what on earth is this? And we can't line up with this because she's spent the last 2 years, 3 years just directly attacking me. And going onto my TV screen and coming after basically everything about my society, my culture, and my background. And so that means that it's really difficult for people to look at the Palestinian cause in a clear-minded way, because she's been muddying the waters and introducing a lot of anxiety and aggression into the conversation that shouldn't be there. And as a consequence of that, what she says that she's trying to do is actually not happening at all, and the opposite of what she said that she's trying to do is the actual outcome of her actions.
What she's doing.
And it's and people like her, we need to opt out of that type of conversation, basically, and come at it in a much more I want to say like collaborative way. I think that's it's not quite the word that I think I'm trying to think of, but I can't think of the actual word, right? But it needs to be not a slanging match, which is where a lot of the stuff ends up. You know, like we were talking about the Diane Abbott thing at the start. A lot of people, they get so riled that it becomes impossible to have on both sides. It's not a one-way thing. It becomes impossible to have a conversation. You've got to diffuse all of that tension
first,
and it's very difficult to do that when there's people who just insist on keep on ramping it up the whole time. So you like derailing people that are trying to drag you into anger and anxiety. And it's not just this, and this is not me just going after Shola on some racial thing, by the way. This is true particularly on like people who describe themselves as left-wing. Left-wing politics. You go to listen to people like Navarra Media, they're a good one. And then there's this one called Just Joe, which is like this left-wing Instagram page, got a YouTube channel, that kind of thing. If you just go and sit and watch it and actually listen to what they say, everything that comes from them is negative. It comes from a place of toxicity and like low vibrational energy. They're totally.
Look at that. You just said low vibration energy. Divine just said vibrate higher.
There you go.
So I'm saying, so you know that we're doing God's work. You can see everything's connected.
That's exactly it, Divine. That's exactly it. And they don't. And the worldview they're pushing doesn't allow them to. They just locked into this like, everything's shit. We hate the world. We hate the Tories. And I ain't saying that the Tories are good, by the way, but like the route out of that is not pushing hardcore for Keir Starmer, which is basically what they're doing, because like the left have all got to line up behind Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer's just another Tory. He's a red Tory.
That's right.
Yeah, like the guy, and he's controlled by the same people that we've been talking about today, like 100%.
That's crazy. That's crazy to learn of those that are being controlled, and who's controlling them though.
Who's controlling Starmer?
No, I'm just saying it's crazy to learn of those that we thought was in control of their own. But then to find out of those that are actually controlling them,
mate, there's
even indirectly without them knowing.
Well, the people, well, I mean, they may or may not know, but there are a lot of people who don't, particularly in the media. But there's a lot of people out there who are just doing what they do. They call them useful idiots. That's what Stalin used to call them, useful idiots. It's like, okay, we'll put you up there. You've probably not got two brain cells to rub together, but you look quite nice, and people, will listen
gravitate towards you.
And you'll do what you're told. So look, now you're famous. There's loads of people like that.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of that in politics. Starmer's not one of them. Starmer does know how bad it is, and he's done some unspeakable things, and also he's basically controlled by Peter Mandelson and Tony Blair. Like if you actually look at, Peter Mandelson, who was a big time pal with Jeffrey Epstein, by the way. I mean, they were tight friends, Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein. And he's the main consigliere to Starmer right now, advising him on Labour strategy running into the election whenever that happens. Probably not as soon as some people thought it was going to happen. But and him and Blair's a war criminal. He shouldn't be walking on the streets as a free man. For my money, like the guy should be investigated, arrested. But that's not happening. At the minute, and. If the powers have their way, it definitely won't happen. Nah. And the thing is, they really don't like people talking about this stuff. In fact, one of the organisations I'm part of. Did I tell you? But did we start talking about this earlier? And I don't think I got all the way through it. Like they've made a big crackdown on what they call extremist groups. So then. Like an organisation that I'm part of, there's a big report that came out last week, and apparently I'm an extremist.
You're an extremist?
I'm a right-wing extremist.
Oh, bloody hell, peeps. We have an extremist on the panel today. May I add the first one?
Yeah, right. It's called Hope Not Hate. It's like
Hope Not Hate.
Yeah, Hope Not Hate. They're just like communists basically, and they'll go around like, we don't like these people because they're saying things that basically anyone that says, hey guys, let's get together and create a system outside of the control of the government. They view them as dangerous.
Of course, because you're trying to topple the flipping government. It's off. You don't have to have a bomb on you nowadays to be deemed to be that normal.
Bro, you can just have a laptop and a mobile. Like you don't even need that. Like basically, anyone who's just thinking straight is an extremist these days.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So. But it's because there's so many holes in the current system is so corrupt, and the people in it are so compromised that the only way that they can keep the whole thing together is by like brutal subjugation and censorship and outright lying. They're just lying constantly. You can't be a mainstream politician in this country, probably anywhere else, certainly in America, without lying through your teeth from the second that you get out of bed to the second that your head hits the pillow at night.
You hear that, Mr. Politician Geezer?
You can't. Like, there's no...
Yeah,
and actually, I think a lot of them are actually, like, clinically insane. Like, to be able to stand up there and just say the things that you say, and it's all completely contradictory, and you'll change your mind tomorrow based on this next thing that's happened and none of it ever has to make any sense, because it never gets actually implemented, and there's no accountability, and you can burn billions and billions of pounds, and like, there's never any comeback on any of it, and you can take us into wars in Ukraine or the Middle East, and you'll just run it up on the taxpayer's credit card, and there's absolutely no recourse for us. Then if you can thrive and operate in that environment, then you've got to be a seriously bad person, and you shouldn't be near the levers of power in this country or anywhere else. But that's all we've got now, the top level of the state.
It's crazy.
Yeah, mate, they're nutters. They're absolute nutters. And it's going to take revolutionary type action, you know, and I'm not, and you know, one of the reasons why it's important for you and me to have these conversations, and I hope that we can help out with making this something that is constructive,
yes,
and focused on a positive
outcome.
Moves towards a future that's better for everybody, rather than what they want, which is the whole thing to spark off into some kind of
negative madness.
Massive. They would love to see like more rioting, the whole city kicking off, the whole country kicking off, because then they could do, you know, all the things we were talking about before. They could come in and they could lock it down real hard, and they'll just be like, well, you know, we didn't have any choice, even though we created the situation that led to the reaction.
Matrix programming. These are the type of people that be practicing positive thinking but want to throw us negative shit in the media. Very right, Simon.
Yes.
Very right there. Yeah, they would label you an extremist, anybody that's not on their side. Very true. Exactly. Anyone that goes against the narrative, basically. Very true. Dub Cup, Claire, big up yourself. I'm amazed they can sleep when their heads hit that pillow, to be honest. Matrix programming. Career politicians are expected to lie. It's part of the gig. It's a part of the gig.
It's true. It is true.
I told you, we're in the times now, spiritual warfare.
Yes. Bro.
Where we need to know Divine, you're right, spiritual warfare for sure. We need to know whether we're amongst good people or bad people. And most of us are good energy people that want to keep ourselves amongst good energy people that think of a certain nature and behave us in a certain type of way and want to see a better tomorrow for their children, grandchildren, and so forth. The other side don't want to see any better for nobody, much less their self. They don't care about the children's future. Their minds are not for the future of the children or the grandchildren or any of that. So they only seek to self-destruct, and they would like a mass destruction to take place, but they want us to self-destruct ourselves rather than them absolutely letting off a bomb on all of them. You understand? Blatantly letting off a bomb on us and creating genocide in that way. They'll give us the tools to kill ourselves. And this is why we have to be very mindful of what we're doing and how we're fighting against each other and how we're taking out each other. I mean, you look around us, how many people are dying? You know, in one place here, there's an odd man being stabbed, or odd youth getting killed, or odd, you know what I mean? But when you add all those numbers up to all the areas and all the cities and all the towns and these are crazy numbers of people killing each other. It's no joke. We're doing the work of the government, and that's why I say the war is not with my brothers. The war is against the boys in blue. Because globally, I see what they're trying to do, trying to murder people like me and you. We still can't see the message. We still can't hear it, and we still can't know that we're doing everything the wrong way, and we're actually playing into the hands of these Baphomets.
Bruv, young black men. I don't like to use the term black, but I will use it here.
Yeah.
Like the young black men. And I had a conversation with someone earlier actually, and he's like early 20s, can't go on his block because he's scared of some reprisal situation. I'm just like, boy, you lot need to start taking better care of each other, man. Like, that other kid on that block over there who looks like you, same age as you, chases the same girls that you do,
same dreams, same wants and needs.
Like that's you. Yeah, that's not your enemy. That's you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you need to start looking at each other in a way that is more respectful and appreciative. We need to
become.
You've got to turn that back into yourself as well, because you've got to respect and appreciate yourself.
We need to become our brothers' keepers again.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to look out for each other, man.
We be throwing our brothers underneath the bus, throwing them in caskets, throwing them our mothers them. Because you see, it's not just a man's mum, but if you got your mum, you respect your mum, you're going to respect everybody else's mum. It's just like having children. If you have children, you love them. You're not going to just love your child. You're going to love everybody else's child. Or children. You see what I'm saying? It goes like that. So we literally need to find that empathy within us and know how to start dealing with ourselves to see a better tomorrow for not just us, but the world that we're going to leave behind.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with that being said, we can go on forever, Ben. Our reasonings are no jokes, bro.
We've done well today, man. We feel that we've had a good run there, and we've not had any videos or anything.
Nah. But I want to applaud everybody that stayed with us over on the YouTube. Let me just have a little check in on the Facebook and see if there's anyone over there still.
I'm glad you called out Idris Elba. That guy's a dickhead.
He's a fool. I can't stand him. Chantal Ellis, my sister, big up yourself, man. Spiritual warfare for sure. The fight isn't against each other. That's right. And big up Kerry Ann over on the YouTube, on the Facebook, sorry. Go back up on the YouTube now. Hold on there. What is this thing trying to freeze on me now? So I'm saying I can't. It just doesn't work all the time the way I want it to work. Sometimes it just plays about. You get it? Try to start again. Let's start again, Killa, cause it'll move like it not rate you, bro. Look, I don't know what's happened now. This is a madness. Let's try and find it back, Killa, come on. This thing is just frozen on me. I don't know what's going on. All right, let me just...
The technology...
Yeah, because so it is, these people don't want us to speak about what we're speaking about, bro. It's very powerful, the reasonings that we're having. And you know what, if every community could sit down and have these kind of in-depth conversations, somebody that is doing research on the things that we talk about and highlighting and bringing these things to the forefront for us to all look at it together and break it all down, we come to a better understanding amongst each other and for what these people are trying to set us up to do to ourselves. You know what I mean? There's a lot that they're trying to get us to do to ourselves. They don't want to do it to us. They want to be able to turn around and say, well, we did give you the tools, but no one held a gun to your head, you just went and done it, didn't you? You know what I mean? They want that kind of thing, so...
Yeah, or the big one, and this is the British are known for doing this, by the way. It's like they'll be like... They'll set off, and when I say British, I mean the people who run the empire, which is not the same as the English people, the Welsh, or the Scots, or anything like that, right? There's very much an us and them dynamic between the establishment, the ruling class, and that have been in place for centuries, the aristocracy and the people that circulate around that whole thing, and the people, right? And they are very much separate from each other. But what the ruling establishment, which is probably only in 10,000 people in this country, something like that. It's just a very small group. What they're really good at is getting everyone else to go and scrap with each other. So that they don't have to do it.
While they're just plain onlookers and spectators.
And that's true at an international level as well as within our own cities, right?
That's
so
right.
Like it's a lot of what happens in international conflict is people setting off powers against each other. They're running these false flag operations. They're doing one thing and saying, oh no, look, this was this person over there, you've got to go and retaliate against them, even though it was actually us that did it in the first place. They play those tricks all the time.
They play those tricks. A schoolboy trick from schoolboy era.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing new. Nothing
Who punched
new.
me? Oh, it was that guy.
Oh, it was that guy. Don't tell you know.
Whack you around the back of the head. No, that guy just did that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he did do that because those guys are always doing that because you've told me for the past decade that I should be on the lookout for that kind of thing coming from that guy.
That's right.
And lo and behold, here it is now.
And it's you.
And actually, it turns out it was you.
Do you understand? It's you.
Yeah, and that's the game. That's the game the status play, and they get people get in their own bubbles, and they got their own. Particularly with social media, you know, like there's a lot of sort of segregation, really, you know,
big
like
segregation, bro.
And it's a lot of it's self-policed and self-enforced. So people will get their own community narrative on what's going on in their own, you know, and that a lot of the time it will be infiltrated by people and. Yeah, we need a big old coming together, basically.
There was a message that I missed that I wanted to.
What is it? Out of many, one people.
We are one.
That is the vibe.
This was the message that I missed earlier, in regards to Idris.
All right.
We did a protest outside York Hall, and Idris was inside filming. He wouldn't come out yet. Cousin had the same name as as the show that he was filming for the movie of Luther, yeah, R.I.P. my little brother Luther, and he was killed in the same place that he was actually filming.
Really?
In York Hall, yeah. Bethnal Green, 2016. So this is why when we speak on some of these individuals that we know they don't stand for the people, they're not for the people, and we see through them. They're very transparent. They can't.
I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, very transparent pieces of shits. You know what I mean?
So he was filming in there.
He was filming in there for the movie Luther.
Right.
Lucifer. Or not Lucifer, Luther.
Luther.
Lucifer.
Yeah, the BBC thing.
Because I'm thinking of demons, you know. He's a demon, that's why Lucifer come up. But yeah, he my Lucifer.
Probably
he was filming.
The whole thing with his missus as well. It's like, I look at us with this perfect couple. It's like, I bet you are.
He's going home and he's smacking up the missus every other evening.
I don't know about that, mate. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
But he's just like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not buying this.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You got some big deal with Amazon. Amazing.
Do me a favour, yeah, please, my brother. Can you give the people your socials? How do they find you? How do they stay in contact with Ben Ruben, my brother?
So I've got two places to go. One is it's mainly on Substack, which is like a blogging platform.
Okay. So
if you go to riseuk.substack.com, so riseuk.substack, substack.com. That's the main one where I write about this stuff. And then I'm on UK Column, which is ukcolumn.org, and I do the news on a Friday there. And that's the extremist group.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say. Yeah, UK Column is an extremist group. It's like, okay, really? Because all we do is talk about actual real world news. And so if you think that's extreme, then that's kind of says a lot about you, right?
You're just keeping it real over there.
Yeah,
they don't like realness.
Yeah. I trade in facts, friend. That's all I've got.
They don't like realness.
Yeah.
All right.
And so that's the best place to find me. Those two places. And I'm also on Telegram. If you're on Telegram, t.me/RiseUK. Telegram's a good place to be. If you want good information, go Telegram.
Go over that side for real.
Yeah, minimal censorship. Like Instagram, I mean, you had your Instagram snatched off you, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right, so you know all about that.
That's right.
But most of those big tech platforms, they're trying to suppress the truth. They're not trying to get the truth to you.
That's right.
And particularly Facebook's real bad for it, but YouTube's pretty bad too. And they're going to get worse because they've just brought in a whole load of new legislation to censor us and stop us from having conversations like this, being able to share messages like this, which are fundamentally they're about hope and positivity, and they don't want that. They'd much rather it that we're all bickering with each other and arguing and getting into fights.
Division, bro.
Exactly.
Divisions.
Divide and rule. So.
Yeah, division, man.
Yes.
With that being said, my people, listen, I want to take time out to big up the promoters over the weekend. I want to big up my Leeds promoters for the show that was kept on Friday. That show was absolutely epic. Big up yourselves. I big up all of my Leeds family, you know, car. A lot of them do tune in as well. I've got a lot of silent listeners that do watch back a lot of some of these stuff that I do. So big up. And I want to big up my Bristol promoters that do check in, and you know what I mean? Last night's show was absolutely epic again. So yeah, big up to everyone that was in attendance at all of my shows. I'm absolutely knackered, but I'll tell you one thing about me. I'm very consistent. I definitely try to fight that barrier of wanting to just not do it today. Let me just relax and sleep, and it's been a long drive and I need rest. But sometimes we're not resting because we are doing God's work, and God gives us the strength to continue. And you know what I mean? We have to reach out and make our people know a lot of things are going on underneath our nose, and we need to highlight these things. And yeah, we don't put off what we can get done today for tomorrow. So with that being said, my people, I just hope and I wish all of you guys a productive and progressive week ahead. Can't be good, be careful. And if you can't be careful, stay in your house.
Don't get caught.
Yeah, just stay in your house. Stay in your yard. I keep forgetting he's a little yardie, this one, you know. He's a flipping yardie, you know.
Honorary, bruv. Honorary Jamaican.
I keep forgetting that this brother of mine is a little yard man, and I big up Ben. Ruben, big up yourself. Always a pleasure having you on the platform, bro.
Always
and my
good.
people, I'll catch you on the other side, which is Sunday again, 7 p.m. For those that if you're first time watching, first time listening, don't be shy. We are a community we're a family-based community, near and far, yeah? And it's all about waking up our brothers and our sisters as to what's taking place underneath our noses. The government is the enemy of ours. Our enemies are not us that live amongst each other, have to rub shoulders with each other, have to pass each other every day. That's not the enemies, okay? That's not the ops. The ops is those that sit up in those high places that try to control our lives without us having a say. You see what I'm saying? So it's about waking up our brothers and our sisters to a better way of thinking and a clearer way of viewing things and knowing how to address things, basically. With that being said, I'm going to go look some food, you know, because you know, man, belly, I talk some lyrics around here, so while me I talk some things in a device projector. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Listen, let me bless the place and walk out of that place. Yo, people, have a blessed weekend. Well, it was a great weekend, shall I say. You know what I mean? Have a great week ahead. Stay positive. Stay, you know what I mean? Vigilant,
mate, the spring's
militant.
here. It was nice this evening.
A little bit of sun, innit?
It'll be summer soon, mate. It's going to be lovely.
Ah, beautiful. Look.
Yes, mate.
Just stay safe, my people. Manners and bear respect every time. So till next week, ta love me. I'm going to left you with that tune, yo.
Laters.
Yeah! Rastafari, I listen to rules and reigns over all living things. He don't dwell it in the secret place of the Most High God, should abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say, God bless a sound like Arrow Syndicate sound, with youth like DJ Yellow, Not Nice and my agent called Killa P. Big up all Stockwell and Brixton Massive, you don't know, so we kick off a sound boy face. I and the chin say, run things. Element of surprise. There will be weeping, there will be wailing, and a gnashing of teeth, till Arrow Syndicate sound they appear. And what you gonna do, and where you gonna run? So there will be killing, blood will be spilling, it just not go till Arrow Syndicate sound they appear. And what you gonna do, and where you gonna run to? Weeping and a wailing, I said a gnashing of teeth. Weeping and a wailing, you test Killa P, you get defeat. Weeping and a wailing, and a gnashing of teeth. Weeping, water wailing. You test not nice, you get defeat. Here will be fighting. Every son will be backbiting. It just now go east till our syndicate sound they appear. And what you gonna do? And where you gonna run to? There will be wars, rumors of wars. There won't be no peace till our syndicate sound they appear. And what you gonna do? And where you gonna run to? Jah Rastafari.